Hello, my name is Angelica Thompson, and I'm going to be doing a TED Talk on how I will integrate technology or current technology with technology that is emerging with my staff, with the students, and the future graduates, people that are entering into the real world as an adult. Now, the first and foremost thing that we want to make sure we're doing before even implementing a resource or resources, we want to make sure that it enhances student learning. Um, are they, or is it bridging the gap? Is it extending their learning? Is it allowing them to think critically on a deeper level? We want to make sure that is at hand because if it doesn't, it is almost as if it's redundant. And we don't want to make sure we're spending money on things that aren't really helping our students thrive. And that is one of those top priorities that we want to make sure is at hand. Who's going to benefit from it? All of this is still back with our students. We want to make sure that is it going to target one specific group, all students, all tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, or just specific groups. And I think it's really, really important that it's able to target all levels of students because we house a lot of students and it's almost like a waste of money if it's only targeting a specific group, because let's say if we're doing the extended group of students, where with my district we have a lot of students that are below grade level, so it is important that we bridge that gap. And if we don't, it's like it's a waste of money, taxpayers money, and we want to make sure that we're using their money effectively within our district. How often will it be able to be utilized? Is it on a day-to-day basis? Can they do it at home? Is it only in school? Are those like how often is it accessible? And we want to make sure that whatever it is, it has a security, privacy type of setting on it, to where we want to make sure that information is not breached or even open to risks of being breached. So we want to make sure we keep that in mind. And we want to make sure that it fits into whatever that we're currently working on, so that we can collaborate those two and just build on one another. I think that that's important because sometimes we don't want to just dish some of whatever that we're working on completely. We want to kind of emerge, shift, evolve, but we want to make sure we're doing it in a gradual type of format. Do we have the funds? That's important, and that's going to be an important piece. Those funds that are available to ensure that we can afford the resource. Is it in our budget? So we want to make sure we're not just considering a resource and we can't even afford it. We want to make sure that it is, like I say, affordable, because we're setting a certain budget and want to make sure we're not going over our budget. And how one of the key things is that data, tracking that data. How are we going to track that data? How often are we going to track it to see if it's effective? Do we need, or is it ineffective? Do we need to keep it? Do we need to dish it? So we got to make sure that we have something in place that monitors that and track that progress, because this is all about it. Data don't lie. Data don't lie. We just make sure that it tells a lot about whether or not what's effective, and is it effective for a certain group of students. I don't know. So again, that's what we are going to have to try to see. Another thing moving forward in the school, how will I get the teachers engaged with technology, period? How in a professional development type setting. One thing about it, teachers, we, and I say we're automatically seeing that we're supposed to be effectively using technology. We have degrees and they think, hey, it's not that hard. And it, to me, it's one of the toughest things in the world. Um, to do. I've never seen so many different resources, and or even been to a lot of trainings where I haven't even effectively been like confident in what I'm doing. A lot of things I'm very unsure about, because a lot of times it's done in a large group setting. So it's kind of hard to get down to the nitty gritty of what it is that we're trying to achieve. So that is one of my things, creating a PL in a small group type setting. Because a lot of times, being a professional, we don't want to feel like we're incompetent. We don't want to feel like we're not where we need to be with certain things, because we're the professional. So in a large group setting, me voicing my need of needing additional help to build my confidence in technology may make me feel some type of way. So we want to make sure that we're comfortable in a comfortable space where we can voice our opinion about not fully understanding what's going on, or about the resource. And sometimes people need more than that, just like our students. They may need more than one or two or even three different ways of showing us, or different times of showing us, and to see if we effectively learn whatever needs to be learned. How are you able to determine that? We need to have it where it's like a formative or informative, but it's something that checks to see if we successfully have it, just like you would do in the classroom. I think that would be a great way for even just the tech people to get involved in how the classroom looks sometimes. Looking at those, what are we learning today? Those learning objectives and those success criteria. Are we able to successfully navigate through this platform? Are we able to successfully just create these different program, whatever the case may be? Are we able to do it effectively instead of sending people off without having the knowledge or the confidence to even go and teach things in the classroom to the students? Because sometimes the students, I've seen on many occasions that the students have more knowledge than I have about certain online platforms. And sometimes it's a little frustrating because I'm the professional here, yet they're teaching me things about it because I haven't been properly trained on it, and they've just assumed that I was okay with it. So a lot of times that is one of the things that I would definitely implement. Small group, I love small group. Why not use it here? Why not use it here? The teachers would definitely benefit from it. And then we can go moving forward to just doing promoting different other things. Other teachers can learn from others. We can create or use different resources and platforms that other teachers use. It'll be a great way to getting that school, building that school culture, getting those students thriving, finding all these different ways of getting these students learning where they need to be. So that's definitely we want to make sure what we're doing. Another thing is, I understand with certain resources there are going to be limitations. Sometimes we're not going to have certain things in the budget and things like that. Are we going to be like certain resources may require a lot of funds. So getting something that is, like I said, within our budget, something that has a cluster of things in a bundle, that would be something that we can use instead of if it's for just one particular thing. I know the Carnegie resources that we use, it has lesson plans, different skills practice. It has an individualized plan, online platform, so where students can kind of navigate through the different lessons without waiting to be taught. They can kind of move forward, extended learning. Also, it has so many different components, different videos, reteach videos to, for those students that are not getting. That's another way of implementing something that students can benefit from. Having a cluster of things and a bundle where you're paying, instead of just paying for one different resource with not a lot that comes with it, when you can get this particular resource with a cluster of things. Okay. And then we want to make sure that, because we're going to have some people that are resistant to change. I was definitely like that. We're moving forward with the different new strategies with math, because I teach math. And I probably would be like that a little bit with technology. But the thing is, I would definitely be open to it if it would be pitched in small pieces. Because if it's done that way, I can pretty much deal with it better, and it won't be so overwhelming with all the other tasks that I'm doing. And I think a lot of time that's what it is. That's an issue. It's overwhelming. A lot of time they just throw a lot of stuff at you and not properly show you what needs to be done or how it needs to be done. And that's just the thing of it. Definitely going to have those cybersecurity issues or concerns. So we want to make sure that we are not opening different tabs and things while, just different things on the device, and just getting, checking for risks weekly or whatever it needs to be to make sure that we don't have those different cybersecurity issues moving forward, and those different roadblocks. We want to make sure that, because we're going to have roadblocks, we want to make sure that we're addressing those with those different ways, like checking to ensure what it is that's occurring at the moment. And with the different graduates moving into the real world, it's a lot of things that are going to be new to them. So we want to make sure that we are equip them with certain tools to ensure that they have what they need to be successful in the real world. Digital literacy is one of those things that we're going to make sure that they are able to create certain things. So if need be, when they are college, so in order for them to be college ready or career ready, they can be able to do that. With creating things throughout the course, there'll be presentations, videos, projects, whatever the case may be. They can use those different skills to carry on into college, or even certain occupations moving into adulthood. That digital citizenship, we want to make sure that students are safe, using the internet safely, and responsibly, because with certain behaviors it comes a lot of things, and we want to make sure the students are protected. We want to make sure their information is protected, because it's so easy for things to get out there, and we want to make sure that they're respecting others, even on the internet, because a lot of times we see that a lot, even just on different social media platforms where there's an issue. So we want to make sure we train them to do things in a respectful kind of way. They can also use their thinking, problem solving type of strategies with because I teach math, and a lot of times there are a lot of complex type of questions, and we want to make sure that we equip them with the skills to be able to break things down, and be able to answer them in a real world type of format. Because a lot of times that's what we're doing. We're creating, we're building them up, giving them the skills and things like that to use what we teach them to, so it can be applicable in the real world. So that's why we use certain real world situations, so we can ensure that those students have what they need to be successful. Making sure that we are fostering students with a growth mindset. We want to make sure that we are creating like a space where students embrace challenges, and instead of running away from them, we want to equip them to not run away from challenges when things get difficult and things like that. We want to make sure we equip them with the skills to be able to pull through or persevere through to be successful. Because a lot of times you're going to be faced with things in life on a day-to-day basis, but we want to make sure we want to train their minds so they can be resilient. We want one thing about graduates when they're going into the real world, sometimes it's a lot of pressure. Um, so we want to make sure we kind of use certain things to kind of help them, skills to help them adapt to how the world is. And even sometimes if they have setbacks and things like that, there are certain things and that we can teach them to kind of like push through basically. We into like when it comes to a global cultural perspective, we see a lot of different things in, let's say, social studies, because we're living in diversity. It's one of those things that is here. We're among different groups, ethnic groups, different cultures and things like that. So we want students to be able to recognize certain things and really appreciate the diversity here, because we can learn so much from different people, not like our own, embrace their different cultures, ways of doing things. It's so much that you can learn and understand that could, I don't know, help you in life. You never know. And that's even with, being in living in diversity. Our classrooms are set up like that. So we want to make sure that we're able to even communicate with those people like that. So that's important, having teamwork, because everybody that you work with are not going to look like you. So we want to make sure that we can equip them to be able to have those communication skills to work as a team successfully, to be able to listen to people, to active listening basically, and to be effective when it comes to communication, because we want to make sure that you give people respect. You can be able to hear you. I think 5 miles are better than one. So we want to make sure that we create students with a mindset that helps them just, develop knowledge that they can use throughout their lives. We want to make sure we're creating people that are responsible citizens, because that's important, because they're our future. We want to make sure that we prepare them for the world, because technology is emerging. It's not going anywhere. Like how the AI and all these different AI systems are, it's here to stay. We want to make sure those students have, those different components, because you just never know when they can use it. And it can be used in the classroom and beyond the classroom. So that's what we want to make sure we teach them how to use things, not only in the classroom, but when they become adults. So we want to encourage them to be innovative. We want to encourage be resourceful, because guess what? They're the future. We may spark an entrepreneurship in someone, and that's what we want. We want to make sure that those students have what they need to be successful, regardless of what it is that they're given. Again, just a lot of I really like using different types of technology that I'm familiar with in my classroom. I definitely love Magic School. It's a great resource for lesson plans, worksheet generators, PowerPoint presentations, different group work. You can create flashcards, all type of things like that. It's really helpful. I love everything about it. You can just type in whatever the standard it is you're working on. If I needed to tier levels, it breaks it all the way down like that. Another thing is I love quizzes. The kids love it. It's really great. I use it a lot with a lot of reviews, review quizzes and things like that. Because for one, the kids just love the music for the quizzes. It's very it can be competitive. You can do groups. you can do, I sometimes have several going on at once, depending on whatever it is, maybe learning about 2 or 3 standards at a time, moving in, because I may be teaching about multiplying and dividing integers. I can also be teaching commutative and associative properties simultaneously. So those are some things that I can be doing at the same time, getting those students, it just whatever it is, but it's so many different resources that are out there that can be used in the classroom, and just to create this tech driven world. It's changing. We got to make sure that we're open to it, and able to use it effectively. I think it's important. It's here to stay. We got to make sure we're getting ourselves equipped to make sure we can use it effectively. Thank you.